Hey everyone, YouTube, how you guys doing? I want to show you a knife that's going out to a new home. A YouTuber named Blade Psycho. He's new to YouTube. He's a knife lover like we are. I think he's been on YouTube for a few weeks only. And he saw this knife on my channel, loved it, had to have it. He made me an offer. And believe me, I told him he was offering too much, so I gave him a lower number. Of course, he accepted it. But he fell in love with this knife. This is a knife that I made for myself, and it has a few flaws, but I made it for myself, so I didn't really care too much to fix them, and I was trying out different things, and that's the reason why I thought he was really asking for too much. For example, that's my current maker's mark. I do that by hand with a scriber. And I was testing out different maker's marks. Here's the other side. Maybe we should show it this way. Give the camera a chance to focus. And this one was done with drill bits. And had I done this for sale, I would not have filled it up with maker's marks. I would have chose one, or I would have practiced on a piece of scrap. But I love dinosaur footprints. I'm big on that. So it couldn't have too many dinosaur footprints for my taste. He loved the rock pattern, so I added rock pattern to this knife. This is a knife that I made about a year ago, and I just never got to finish it, but he saw it, he liked it, so I finished it for him. I gave it a Bastinelli style rock pattern there, but I made it a little different just to call it my own, just to change it up a little bit. It's done with the Dremel as well as my grinder, so there's almost like two layers. There's the finer ones done with the Dremel, and then the larger ones with the grinder, and they catch the light different, so at different angles different ones catch the light. Full convex grind. I left the milled surface again to sort of accentuate the rock pattern, the rock finish. So it's got the milled surface on it. It has a few flaws. Number one, the plunge line here is very close to the finger hole, and on this side it's further out. So that was one of the reasons why I said that it's not worth as much as he thought it was, and not as much as he was offering. Otherwise I would have fixed it, but I didn't want to put any more time in it. He said he liked it the way it is. He said it had character. He didn't want, he just liked it. He accepted it the way it was. Another thing I pointed out is that this is not perfectly square. I'm not too sure if it's, there we go. It's a little higher on this side. Again, it wasn't anything that it really bothered him, but it bothered me. It's got a rough surface over here, but that's pretty much just my style. It's got like a 80 grit or maybe even a 50 grit finish over there. It's got something like a 120 grit finish here and down here. It's got a rounded spine and much smoother, much more polished down here. Right, much more of a satin finish with the Scotch-Brite. This is polished down to a 180 grit, and then with a Scotch-Brite with black compound. Full convex grind. It's 0.3 inches thick, 440C. The steel came from Admiral Steel, heat treated by Peter's Heat Treat to Rockwell hardness of 58-59. 440C. 440C turns slightly yellow gold, slightly gold. So I kept that as much as I could along the spine of the knife, as well as the underside. I thought it gave it a nice little color contrast with a nice silver and a little faint gold. I thought it gave some nice color to it. I tried not to take off too much of it on here, but try to keep it from what I could. Let's talk about the blade. The cutting surface starts further down. That was designed just to be safe, just to keep the finger from sliding underneath. So the cutting surface, the cutting edge starts at the 3 mark, and it goes just past the left of the ruler. So it's just over 3 inches, and overall 7 1/4. Right, 7 1/4. Is it sharp? Let me get a piece of paper. Should have had that ready. Alright, we in focus? Okay. See if I can get a curly Q. I cut him off, sorry. Try one more time. See if I can get that curly Q. Okay, so she's very sharp. Let's talk about the sheath. I gave you a carbon fiber sheath with I think it's called gun gray rivets. The larger size Tek-Loc. I was going to put a smaller one because it's a smaller knife, but I ran out of the smaller ones. So I gave you the big one, but it fits fine. It doesn't protrude. It fits fine. Let's put it in. Nice click. There's your focus. The sheath has a dinosaur footprint. I put dinosaur footprints on my sheaths when the sheath is large enough. For me, I don't, like I said, I made this for me, so I wouldn't mind it loaded with dinosaur footprints, but would have ground them off if I could. This is a one-of-a-kind knife. I'm not making another one like this, just because I have other designs in mind. Oh, the rattle. There's a very, very slight rattle. Because I'm shaking it hard. It's very slight rattle, and it's not going to come off. Little thumb wrap here just to ease pulling it out. Let me just wipe it on my pants because I did keep it oiled. There's a little bit of 10W40 in the sheath. What else did I talk about? I forgot what else I was going to talk about. Okay, I'll probably come to mind. Trying to keep this quick. So, Blade Psycho, you mentioned in one of your videos that you wanted a lanyard. My son makes paracord bracelets and lanyards, and he calls this a skull buddy or a skull mummy. Made it long enough to fit your wrist through, and it'll get tied up somewhere, you know, in the lanyard hole, right? So I'm going to include this for free. In your video you said you wanted one, so I'll send you one with this knife. If it doesn't go with the knife that you wanted to attach it to, put them back in here. I guess you can weave them through the holes if you want to keep this together, just to decorate the sheath, but I don't think it's really necessary. But I'm just going to throw this in. Alright. Alright, guys. Actually, sad to let this one go, because I do like this knife a lot. Balance point is right here at the finger choil. Balance point is right here at the finger choil. Comfortable like this, and comfortable like this as well. Let it focus. And I try to design my knife so you can use them in the reverse grip. That's like a self-defense. Alright guys, check out Blade Psycho. He's a cool guy. We spoke on the phone. He loves knives. And he loves artistic work. Alright guys. Thanks for your comments, guys. Really appreciate that. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the kind words. I don't have a slogan. Not yet. So I'm just going to say goodnight. Good night.